this is the somewhat annoying part about my job. I gotta get to the compressor, and together I gotta go through all this mess. It's like a fucking maze. I'm in a print shop. But what I want to show you guys today is an Ingersoll Rand UP6 compressor. As you can see, it's pretty messy. It's got oil coming from somewhere. And there's a couple things it could be, so let me show you what those things, what the possibilities are of all this oil appearing on a compressor like this, no matter which one, no matter what brand it is. This can happen to any kind of unit that's enclosed. You know, sadly, it's just, there's just some customers out there, no matter what it is you try and tell them, you know, they're gonna be messy, and it's a sad reality. And you can tell this compressor's probably been leaking oil for a while. This is all absorbent, and you can see it's all wet. So this has probably been going on for a while, but it keeps shutting down now. And one thing it can be when it runs like this, and it's not that it's impossible, I've definitely seen it happen before, but the amount of oil that this is, it's either unlikely or it's been going on for a long time. But as you can see, the air filter, it's not that dirty, but it's actually it's wet, and it's wet with oil. And what happens is there's a seal on the inside of the inlet valve. When the compressors shut down, they have all this pressure inside of them, and it has to release it before it can start up again, so that way it doesn't start under a load. And there's a seal that shuts it, and then it relieves out of valves nice and slowly. But what happens is when that seal wears out inside the inlet valve, it just, all the oil and the pressure inside of the unit just comes gushing out of it. And then there's a port on this side where the air gets sucked in, and all the oil comes spewing out of there. So it's done. So let's see if we can figure out where else an oil leak might be coming from. Those panels held together with a bunch of 10mm bolts. With it. Okay, so this is good. We know a couple things. We know it's definitely not leaking from any of the back sides. This, if it was leaking back here, it'd be a major problem. At that point, we'd have to remove the whole unit if we were going to go ahead with the repair. But what it looks like is that all the oil is definitely just coming out from here, and I've already gone through everything else. There's no leaks coming anywhere else. So we'll definitely see if the customer wants to service it. It's definitely low on oil, and for sure it's overheating, because every time it runs for maybe 15-20 minutes and then shuts down. Customer gives it, you know, 5 minutes off, a little break, and then turn it back on, and it's good to go for another 15-20 minutes, and then it shuts off. So it sounds like it's overheating. Another thing they did too, and they said the problem kind of stopped for a lot longer, was they took this little screen out, and all this is a pre-filter that goes here, so that way nothing really big gets into the system for its cooling, because it is internal. The way this works, there's a fan down in there that draws the air in and then cycles it through here, and then all the hot air is expelled through the cooler all on this side of the system. So that's how it cools itself off. But when the filter gets clogged up like this on any brand, a lot of brands will have a pre-filter when they're enclosed like this. When these get clogged up, it suffocates the machine and it can't cool itself off, and then it shuts down, plain and simple. So it looks like we figured out what the problem is. They definitely need a new pre-filter. This is a first-time customer, so they need a new pre-filter. We'll recommend that they get an inlet valve kit redone, and recommend the service to them today if they want to do it. But honestly, I don't think they're going to want to do it. This guy is kind of cheap as shit, and says if it's just low on oil, we'll top it off. But I'm going to recommend the service to him and see if he takes it. All right. Thanks, guys. It's a pretty simple one. Don't got much else to show you today, really. I got turned down from 2 of my 3 calls. This is like a last-minute thing in Azusa. So, trying to make some money for the day. I'll catch y'all guys on the next one. Peace.